What is your Sam Shovel detective story about tonight?
Abbott, tonight I do one of my most famous cases. I call it the case of the thief who stole the hamburgers from the lunchroom, or he was a short-order crook.
Sounds very tasty. Let's do it.
Right. Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, private detective. And I'm ashamed of myself today. Today I arrested my own brother. I'm a rat. I'm a heel. I'm a louse. I decide to hit myself in the jaw. I don't take that kind of talk from nobody. Not even myself. This detective business will drive a guy nuts. This morning, Jaime the stool pigeon gave me some information. He told me not to let the cat out of the bag and to keep it under my hat. I may have to disappoint Jaime. It's getting mighty uncomfortable having a cat in a bag sitting on top of my head. Well, it's time to feed my pet frog. There's something wrong with this frog. He ain't croaked in 3 days. He must have a man in his throat. I decide to open my mail. Here's an invitation to a barn dance. I don't think I'll go. Ain't much fun dancing with a barn. Here's a card from one of my old flames, Polly the pickpocket. What a girl. I'll never forget the night she put her arms around me. I lost all sense of time. I couldn't help it. She stole my watch. Here comes my secretary. She's been running in and out of the office all day. Each time she kisses me.
Oh, there you are, Sam. I'm going to kiss you again. Oh, you sweet thing.
I'm having a very busy day. I'm up to my work in neck. That secretary is a high-class kid. I practically snatched her from a finishing school. She was a carpenter's helper, and she was busy finishing a school. Oh, well, one thing I can say for myself. I ain't the kind of a boss who chases his secretary around the office. I chase her in the hall. Before I hired this girl, I had a Ubangi as a secretary. She was the only secretary I ever met who could seal the envelopes after she put them in the mail chute. I glance out of the office window. There's my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, coming down the street. He walks straight and erect. That's a holdover from his military days. Abbott was in the service. Abbott was a colonel. Abbott became a colonel the hard way. The hard way. He was in the Navy. Lieutenant Abbott has been my friend for years. It's a peculiar friendship. First he blows hot, then he blows cold. He ain't much of a friend, but he works out swell as an air conditioning unit. I'll never forget the day Lieutenant Abbott got married. His wife, Betty, was an opera singer. She sang like a bird, but she was a flop. Very few people would pay to hear a woman go tweet, tweet, tweet. What a woman that Mrs. Abbott is. She comes from very fine stock. Too bad she didn't come from people.
Hello, Sam Shovel.
It's my pal, Lieutenant Abbott, and you look tired, Lieutenant.
I am, Sam. All day I've been trying to locate a gorgeous 6-foot blonde with blue eyes and a lovely figure. I've had the whole police department looking for her, and...
Lieutenant Abbott, maybe I can bring her in. What's the charge?
You bring her in. I'll think of something.
Lieutenant Abbott must have paid the riders.
Sam, you're slipping. Why, there's talk around town that you're not a good detective anymore.
Is that so? Give me a good case, and I'll solve it quicker than you can say Jerk Robinson.
No, not Jerk Robinson. That's Jack Robinson.
The Robinson I know is a jerk.
Sam, you've been pulling a lot of bonus lately. On the McGurk jewelry robbery, you arrested McGurk, but you didn't find the jewels.
Well, that's no skin off my nose.
And last week I asked you to watch a prisoner for me, and you let him escape.
That was no skin off my nose.
When you investigated the hole-up in the butcher's shop on the corner, you backed into the slicing machine.
That was a little trouble.
Yes, and that's that's not all. The traffic department is complaining about you. The way you drive around town in that prowl car of yours is positively dangerous.
That's not so. Yesterday at Hollywood and Vine, I slowed down to give a pedestrian the right of way.
You did?
Of course, he was in an ambulance at the time.
Enough of this chat, Sam. I'm on an important case. I'm after light-fingered Lil, the lady bank burglar.
Light-fingered Lil. I know her well.
You do?
Sure, her well is in back of her house. I always stop there for a drink of water. That girl is a clever crook. Today she went into the First National Bank and grabbed the teller. She hugged him and kissed him, and while she was doing that, she took all the money out of his cash drawer. She does that every day.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You mean that she goes into the same bank every day and hugs and kisses the teller and then robs him?
Yes.
Why don't the president of the bank do something about it?
He did. He's quitting his job to become a teller.
Sam, we've got to nab Lil. She's public enemy number 7.
Not no more. Now she's public enemy number 1.
How did that happen?
Walter Winchell gave her a plug Sunday night.
Well, that does it, Sam. Lil has a map of the spot where she's buried all her loot. And you and I are going over there and get it.
I'm glad you said that, Lieutenant.
Why?
If you didn't, we'd have no story.
Come on.
Lieutenant Abbott and I arrived at Lil's hideout. I knocked on the door. I rang the bell. Make up your mind. I'd like to get in there while I'm still young. The door opened and there stood Lil. She spoke.
Well, well, if it ain't Slewfoot. What's on your mind, copper?
I like the way you talk, Lil. You're my type of woman.
What makes you say that, Sam?
You're living. And you're beautiful. There's such a delightful aroma about you. Is that taboo, perfume I smell?
It is, and you do.
Sam, we're getting no place fast. Make love to her. Make love to her, Sam. Maybe she'll soften up and give us the map.
Lil, you're the kind of a girl I could go for. I'd walk to the 3 corners of the earth for you.
But, Sam, there are 4 corners to the earth.
Yes, but who wants to get near Russia?
Sam, step over here. I want a word with you. Sam, she's got that map here someplace. It may be in that table.
I'll hold her and you look for it.
It may be in her pocketbook.
I'll hold her and you look for it.
Then it may be in the top of her stocking.
Then you hold her and I'll look for it. Hold everything. Hold everything. I see it. It's on top of the piano.
I got it, Sam. Come on, we're getting out of here.
Lieutenant Abbott and I got a shovel. We started digging for the buried loot.
Sam, I've been digging for the past hour. Are you sure you followed the map correctly?
Yes, it says here, take 2 steps forward, then 1 to the left, then 2 steps backward and 1 to the right, then turn and take 2 steps to the left and 2 to the right.
Wait a minute. Let me see that map.
There it is.
You idiot. That's not a map. That's a rumba lesson from Arthur Murray.
Hey, get me out of here.
Keep the house lights down, boys. We'll have a curtain call from Abbott and Costello after a final reminder on this subject.
Our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman, with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Len Stern.
And our producer is Charles Vander.
Good night, folks.
Good night to everybody in Patterson.
Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood.